This is not who he is. He needs to remember his life.
I don't want to be a part of this experiment anymore.
I can't do it anymore.
Let me out of here!
You should hear what they say about him at court. How he mistakes the earth for a side of beef.
But what exactly had Heisenberg said? That's what everyone wanted to know, then and forever after.
I am a man of science, not society. Now go study my brilliance. Go!
If you enjoy science and great storytelling, we've got you covered.
To science!
To science!
This is the Relativity Series from LA Theater Works and the Alfred P. Sloan Foundation, bridging science and the arts in the modern world.
I'm Susan Loewenberg. Yasmeen is a Yemeni-American high school senior with big dreams. Dr. Guy Royston is her science teacher with a mysterious past. When Yasmeen asks Dr. Royston for an important favor, it sets off a series of events that challenges their core beliefs about science, faith, and the nature of love. And now, Paradise by Laura Maria Sensabella, directed by Erikson, starring Jeff Marlow and Medalion Rahimi, produced by LA Theater Works.
Where was I? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. A red-eyed fruit fly mating with a black-eyed fruit fly creates a mutant ninja checkerboard fruit fly. If you had a thought in your head, it would die of loneliness.
Dr. Royston,
Yes?
can I talk to you for a minute?
Yes?
About my test on the fruit flies? You know, about why I didn't do so good?
The test was on genetics. Fruit flies are merely a portal to genetics.
Yes! That's what I always say. I mean, totally. I got a joke for you.
A joke? Now, listen, miss.
If time flies like an arrow, fruit flies like a banana. Get it? Fruit flies like a banana?
That is a very old joke.
Oh, really? Well, it's still funny, right? Like you're funny too. What you said in class the other day about that scientist?
Johannes Kepler?
Johannes Kepler. Right. You said that nature loves simplicity and unity. And then you said the fruit fly brain, like all brains, even our brain, comes from a single source, like at the beginning of life, and all brains branched out from there.
Really? Did I say all that?
Yes. And then you said how most of us hate doing the fruit fly experiments. You know, not because the fruit flies wake up and jump in our face and you can't even count them and the ether smells disgusting, but because deep down, you said we're much more like fruit flies than we think. That blew my mind.
And what is it that you want?
My test?
What are you doing in the hall, you hooligans? Get the hell out of here before I report you. Shut the door, please. Shut the door. What is wrong with you?
Could you keep it open just a little?
Whatever for?
I can't be alone with you. Not behind closed doors. It's against my religion.
Oh.
That's good.
All right, then. Let's get this show on the road. Name and class?
You don't know my name? All this time I've been talking to you? Dr. Royston!
Do you know how many students I teach in one day? 130 the last I checked.
But you know me, right? I usually sit right there by the window. Third period biology. My hand is up every question. Right there.
Your name?
Yasmeen. Yasmeen al-Hamadi. It's for a flower.
Uh-huh.
So it's easy to remember. Yasmeen, Jasmine, Jasmine. My father named me.
Have you filed under last names? What?
Hamadi. Al-Hamadi.
Yeah.
A-L-capital H-A-M-A-D-I.
Al-Asadi, Al-Fassi. Ah, there you are. I see that you have earned a big, fat F.
Yes, well, that's true. 63. But I mean...
But what?
It's an anomaly.
Oh, what?
Something that deviates from what is standard, normal, or... it's an SAT word.
An anomaly?
Yeah, that's it. So ask me a question. Any, from your test. I'll give you the answer. Any, right now. Just ask me.
Listen, Miss whatever. I may be a zygote when it comes to high school teaching, but...
Romeo and Juliet Fruit Fly are having marital difficulties, so they decide to have a whole slew of babies.
Why are you quoting my test?
Juliet Fruit Fly has naturally curly wings and lovely lobe-shaped eyes, and Fair Romeo also has curly wings, but...
Stop! What are you doing?
I can take a makeup. Right now, I have a free period.
Yeah, I have a free period, too, and it is for myself.
I'll be
and
quick.
If I were to give you a retest, I would have to do it for every Kumar, Milagros, or Harry who just did not like their grade. Do you know how many times a day someone walks through this door asking me to change the...
But that's not me. I never get bad grades. I thought you knew that about me.
I know nothing about you, except you failed my test, and you got 100 on your 2 previous quizzes.
And I want to keep my perfect score.
We would all like to keep our perfect scores. But my stated policy is that unless you are hospitalized or have a death in the family, or you yourself are dead, you are not dead yet, Miss... whatever your name is, are you?
But I have a 4.0 in all my courses.
Then this test in the scheme of things...
I was upset when I took the... It's only 37 points. What if we use my extra credit points for my quizzes?
We cannot use extra
We
credit
can add those
points.
to 63 and...
Miss
Yasmeen!
Miss Yasmeen, I will not bargain with you
But-
like we are haggling over lentils in some Arabian souk.
What? What'd you say? You said I was haggling over lentils.
No, I said we were haggling. We.
That's racist!
Racist? Me?
I could report you.
For what?
Last year, when the assistant principal, Miss Inez, sent out the memo saying that teachers should tell the Arab kids to come to school on the Feast of
Yeah,
Eid...
but I was not here last year. I was in training for this scientist in the school's program.
Eid is like our Christmas, but she said she didn't want the school's attendance to go down.
What are you talking about?
There was a big investigation.
Investigation? Why are you talking investigations? I am tired, and if I accidentally offended...
Well, I'm tired too!
Yes, well, you seem to be going through something right now.
I will report you.
Then you really will not get what you want. No. We can work this out without involving... You tell me you fail my test for reasons. Maybe if you shared
I'm not
with...
sharing with you. Why would I share with you? I'm just another girl in a headscarf to you.
No,
You don't even know my name. When I heard you used to be a Columbia professor...
I told you I was a
I thought, wow. Yeah, this school is finally getting its act together. I didn't listen to what everyone was saying about you.
Oh, they're saying things about me now? What are they saying?
That you messed up and you hate us because you're stuck here.
I see.
Now are you going to change my grade?
No. Little shit.
What'd you call me? I'll tell Miss Inez.
Good. Tell her everything. Tell her that this afternoon, instead of my lunch period, they had me be covering a cosmetology class. Not cosmology, as I first thought. When I walk in, the students are gluing in hair extensions. Oh, and you see this memo from the district office? They are accessing the other new biology teachers. So now all my classes will have 6 more students each. They will be sitting on the windowsills. We all will...
But if I could get a 4.0...
That is all.
What? But we didn't finish. Can I just show you something?
No, my day is done.
But if I could just show you why else I need
If there is some psychological thing going on or a family crisis, if that is why you flunked my test, please talk to a guidance counselor, not to me. And click off the light switch when you're gone.
But...
Ow. Ow.
Dr. Royston, are you okay? I heard about what happened. Did someone throw a beaker at you?
I will make an official report.
I wouldn't. The kids who did it, they'll just get back at you.
Oh, isn't that what you want?
No!
Staring at me every minute of every class for the last 2 weeks, or writing things down in a little notebook when you think I don't see for Ms. Inez, no doubt.
No, I'm observing you. Like you said to do when you don't understand something.
I am no Galapagos turtle.
Well, in this school you are. But I'd say you're more like the problem of the peacock. The peacock had mad beautiful feathers, and it drove Darwin nuts. What did he need them for? You're way too smart to be teaching first-year biology, and you let us know that all the time. Here, I can help clean up.
Stop that.
I mean, this school got like a D rating last year.
You'll hurt yourself, and then you'll probably sue me.
Most of the other teachers, the ones who hate being here, they just assign us the textbook and then read their newspaper all period. There, got it all. But you're always setting up lab experiments. You give us tons of homework that you actually check, and you do that special kind of, what do you call it?
Inquiry-based learning.
Yeah, so we get to study way advanced things right away. But then you act like you can't stand being here. The problem of the peacock.
I have standards. I had standards. From now on, I'll catch up on my sports page reading, too. Hey, I thought you were not allowed to be here. Religious restrictions and so forth?
I think you can bend the rules if you do it with a pure heart. Muhammad's first wife, peace be upon her, she was a businesswoman, very respected, and she dealt with lots of men. And there was a woman on Mount Uhud when the pagans were surrounding Muhammad, peace be upon him, from all sides to kill him. She defended him with her bow and sword.
So you're not gonna report me to Ms. Inez?
Dr. Royston, I came to tell you that what you did to me 2 weeks ago, not letting me get off easy about my grade like the other teachers might, that was a good thing. And I've been kicking myself ever since. I should have done my homework about you. I mean, you're a major scientist. I mean, I knew you taught at Columbia, but I didn't know.
What are you talking about now?
I read your book.
What?
Your book. You're a published author.
You read my book?
Mm-hmm. What's love got to do with it?
You read my book.
Although I thought it was going to be about that singer. What's her name?
Tina Turner?
Yeah, but then I saw the rest of what it said on the cover. The science of romantic love, the brain and evolution. And that's way more interesting than any singer.
Where did you get my book?
From the library. Although I had to put it on order. There aren't too many copies in the system. We should complain about that.
And what did you make of it?
It really helped me.
Helped you?
Understand. Love. Like with animals even. I mean, do they love that whole chapter? That was amazing.
Well, some scientists say I am ridiculous for positing that animals love.
But you make such a good case for it. My favorite was the story about the chimpanzee. What was her name? Myth. Yeah, Myth. I mean, she got into heat and was mating with all the other males of her. It's so interesting, and I like to have interesting discussions.
So what did you find so interesting about Myth?
Well, there was that one male chimp, Raven. Anyway, he kept staring at her the whole time, and then when she was done with all the other male chimps, he looked at her real strong again, and then he walked a few steps, and then he looked back at her as if she just had to follow him, and she did follow him, and they lived together in private for months, away from all the other chimps, except chimps don't usually live in private together. And you ask, was that love?
What do you think?
Love that releases no beloved from loving took hold of me so strongly through his beauty that, as you see, it has not left me yet.
That's Dante.
I know, it's in your book. Well, first you quote a poet, and then you show how science backs up what the poet says.
You really did read my book.
Yes.
One of the few.
So I get it now.
What?
Why you're so upset that you're here. You should be with the great people.
What else did you like?
Well, that part about where you talk about courtship, how every accomplishment of humankind, music, mathematics, dancing, poetry, politics, art, everything, may have started as a way that we impress each other so that someone will love us more than anybody else. There is one thing I didn't understand, though. You say love's a drive, like the need for food and water.
Yeah, not quite. I say it's just underneath man's or woman's need for food and water.
But not everyone gets romantic love in life.
That's right.
Well, Then it can't be like food and water, because without food and water, you die.
You said it, not I.
But you don't die if you don't have romantic love, do you? Do you? What?
You're a very serious young girl, and you seem to want those 37 points pretty badly. Bad enough to read my book, apparently.
Oh, but that was a privilege. Because you make science sound like philosophy and history and poetry and what's the study of dead people's insides, like in a crime?
Forensics?
Yeah, forensics. You bring people back from the dead.
Now that is endowing me with powers.
Showing how our brains change over millions of years so modern man and woman longs for just one special person?
All right.
All right, what?
You may have those points.
37 of them?
Yes, 37 of them.
Praise God!
Now, if you don't mind, I must organize myself.
Don't you want to see what I need them for? This is my college scholarship file. To apply. You see, this is like to get $500, and this one is for $2,000. But this I found the day I failed your test.
Joint initiative by Columbia University's Middle East Institute and the New York Academy of Sciences for an American girl of exceptional promise and of Middle Eastern descent to study the STEM sciences, blah, blah, blah. Full scholarship.
A full scholarship to Columbia University. No loans. Your family doesn't have to pay anything. And look there. They give you all kinds of special things. Like you get a female scientist on the faculty who becomes your mentor, and you get a stipend for living. And they take you to all kinds of science conventions and introduce you to all kinds of top people in your field. And you even get to go to Washington, D.C.
I never heard of this.
It's the first year they're offering it.
Hey, you get room and board, too.
Well, yes, but I wouldn't be able to live on campus. So I was thinking I could apply. If you think I have a scientific mind.
Well, nowhere on this paper do I see that you need to have a 4.0.
But a 4.0 could really make me stand out.
It takes more than a 4.0 from a school of this. This is not Stuyvesant High School. A 4.0 from this school is not weighted the same as a 4.0 from elsewhere.
Then it's doubly important I have a perfect score. I don't have any, clubs I belong to because I have to help my aunt at home with her baking business.
What grade are you in?
A senior.
And you're just now taking first-year biology?
I took topics in earth science last year.
So by the time you graduate, you will have taken 2 years of a science, only one of which is a lab.
It says you only need 2 labs because they want to get girls who didn't know they were interested
You only have one.
Well, I'm a quick learner.
I have no doubt that you are, but you want to go to an Ivy League school where you will be competing with students from all over the country, students who've spent years in a laboratory and who may have distinguished themselves by working on projects, experiments of scientific significance.
I can teach myself chemistry, if that's what you mean. I taught myself lots of things from the ground up, like AP Spanish, because the teacher here is so lame, and...
I'm sorry. I have to...
No, what are you doing? Don't leave! Stop that! No! You don't I never thought I could even like science. The first day of your class, I didn't know what you were talking about. I didn't even know what a cell was. I just remember sitting there at the end of class and thinking, Yasmeen, you're gonna fail this. For the first time in your life, you're gonna fail a class. And I was almost I was paralyzed. And on the way home, I said to myself, I can either turn it around and not be afraid of this, treat it exactly how I taught myself every other thing, or So I stopped at the library and took out every single book I could get my hands on. And that night, I sat for 6 hours after everyone in my family went to sleep. I started with biology for dummies, and that gave me the confidence. And I remember just moving up and up and up from bacteria to cells to complex organisms, and I was opening up to a whole new world.
That night, after my first class?
I couldn't stop reading science books. And every night after that, and in your labs, I couldn't get over it. Looking at this hidden world of the structure of things, and all of a sudden I had this hatred of me because I wasn't exposed to this for all these years, and almost never in grammar school. I felt like I'd missed out on it. Like it was taken away from me, and I became obsessed. And ever since that point, I almost feel like I went over the edge with it. And I thought you could tell. I thought you could see that I got what you're talking about. every class after that, it was like you just talking to me, and then when you didn't know me, I thought that must have been all in my head, and I was nuts for imagining that you were...
Imagining what?
Were so wise. But then I read your book, and I saw that you were funny and way smarter than anybody I've ever met, and maybe a little sad. But I'm a little sad too, so I get that. And I figured out the kind of science I want to do. Because of you, I want to look at the brain, the structures, to help people. Not like with diseases, but with like how to live. Like you do, with like how to live.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure that's what I was doing with my book.
Of course it is. I mean, why else would you study love? I didn't even know you could study love.
Don't you have your religion to help you learn how to live?
Well, the Quran says, study my creation so you may know me.
So, this scholarship...
Has my name on it.
Don't all the other candidates feel that way, too?
Oh, not like me.
Well, maybe not like you, but Columbia has one of the best, if not the best, neuroscience and behavior departments in the country.
That's why I have to be there. I have to. What if I do an experiment? Something of, what'd you say? Scientific significance?
How could you?
I'm a very surprising person.
But you don't have the background. People who become scientists have been playing with test tubes in their basement since they were 10 years old.
What if you don't have a basement? Couldn't you help me come up with an idea?
No, I do not have the time.
Oh. What if I come up with one then? On my own?
I just don't think you could do that.
But it's possible, right? It could be possible. If I read, if I think. Would you listen to it? Just say you'll listen to it.
Fine. If it'll let me get out of here today.
What time is it? Oh no, I gotta pick up my sisters from school. Goodbye, Dr. Royston. Thank you. I'll be back. Thank you. I knew Allah put you here for a reason. I knew it.
Wait. Oh, good. You're here. Tell me if the world has gone mad.
Synapses.com. At synapses.com, we use your unique biology to find your perfect soulmate. Oh, I don't think I should be here while you...
No, it is not for me, heaven forfend. Keep reading.
Okay, welcome to a brand new era in dating. Take our scientific personality test to learn which personality type you are, then find out which type matches your own based on your unique brain chemistry. Is it a scam?
No, not a scam. There is some scientific validity to it. Keep going.
Dr. Evan Wilder, Columbia University neurobiologist, designed Synapses.com in consultation with some of the country's top neuroscientists.
Me! He is talking about me, and he did not consult. He stole an idea that I shared with him when we were sitting around my dinner table breaking bread as a joke. My idea was a joke. Well, not a joke, but certainly nothing I would ever profit from, as the factors that go into choosing a mate are so complex that this is little more than a parlor game. When I wrote my book, I wanted to take science out of the academy, show that it could answer the most fundamental questions about what it means to be human. Why do we love the people we love? Where are the insights to dazzle all the greatest love poets? For they are there. But many of us may have spawned a ridiculous state of affairs. Behavioral economists advising political campaigns, evolutionary biologists advising corporate leaders, neuroscientists advising lonely hearts.
But your book helped me.
I know, and that is the worst of it. We're writing self-help now.
People around here could use some help.
But we sacrifice complexity, nuance.
My aunt says all love ends after a while. 2 years, tops. She said I should stop dreaming about it because
Because you... what?
Nothing. Well, so I told her about your experiment with people who after 10 years, 10 years, still say they're madly in love.
How do you know about that? That was not in my book.
I read your paper.
You read my paper, Neural Correlates of Long-Term Intense Romantic Love, in the Journal of Neuroscience?
Yeah, it's online. Why do you keep it so dark in here?
And you could understand it?
Well, some of it. Except, I couldn't, analyze the brain scans, but I was trying to get ideas for my experiment,
What did you understand of my paper?
That when these people see each other, the people who are still in romantic love after 10 years, the parts of their brain light up on an MRI.
fMRI, functional MRI.
fMRI. The dopamine centers. Just as if it was still like new love. So they still feel, what'd you say? Giddy and happy when that person walks in the room. They still have dreams about them when they're not with them, and they still want to kiss and, So I told her about how your experiment disproves what she said. Love doesn't have to die. And she said, Tamam adasalat kalam keva salti adad hadal halb.
That sounds intense, but what does it mean?
Okay, Miss Smarty Pants, how do you get that love?
You think I know? I am groping in the dark like the rest of humanity.
That's not true. That's not... At the end of your experiment, you say your discovery has implications for marriage counselors, for therapists. You say it gives us hope. That maybe love is more than just an evolutionary trick to get us to stay together long enough to raise a baby to 4 years old. You say for some people it's much more than that. You say maybe people who stay in love are on kind of a journey together, like a journey of exciting, like they do things, you call them novel things together, and they keep expanding each other the way a person expands you when you first get to know them. Why are you looking at me like that?
Will you excuse me if I need to set up for tomorrow morning, so...
I came up with an idea for my experiment. Do you want to hear it? I want to study the brains of kids my age when they fall in love. First love. What goes on in the brain? People say you never forget your first. When you read F. Scott Fitzgerald and Shakespeare, and they say no love after that ever feels that way again. And I want to know why does it get burned in the heart? Or in the brain? I mean, can you ever be as happy in love again? Or is it just a trick to get you to go after more love for the rest of your life? Like an addiction.
So, what is your hypothesis?
My hypothesis is that the parts of the brain that control for novel things, new things, exciting things, and memory, what burns it in the brain are more aroused in teenagers or young adults who fall in love for the first time as compared to adults. So, of course, nothing will ever be as good. You like it?
Well, leaving aside for a moment the fact that we do not have an fMRI machine in the supply closet, it strikes me as a little dry.
Dry?
Well, let me ask you a personal question. Are you in love?
What?
Are you in love?
You don't have to be in love in order to...
Yes, you do. There is always a personal reason for the questions. You said so yourself. Otherwise, why not just study particle physics?
Because I don't care about particle physics. Well, I mean, I do. I've been reading about it, but not in the same...
My point exactly. But if you have never been in love, if you are not now in love, this is all academic. Have you never felt a crush on a classmate, perhaps? That sparkle of excitement when he or she or they walk in a room?
Of course, I feel things, but you're talking about love. I mean, that feeling where you would give your life for somebody and they would give their life for you. Two souls connected.
Romeo and Juliet?
Yes, or Yusuf and Zuleika.
What?
It's a story in my culture. Two lovers who waited for each other for 36 years.
Yeah, now we're getting somewhere, and it's not just stories, right? People give up their last bit of bread to the person they love. You jump in front of rushing traffic to protect...
That's what I'm talking about. I mean, sacrificing yourself for someone else. That's what I'm talking about. But you don't have to be in love yourself.
Can I ask you something else?
Well, that depends.
Well, this is a pretty conservative community around here. You got some women walking the streets with those black long dresses, some of those curtains on their faces.
A niqab. My aunt wears one of them. It's so you stay focused on God. And
you wear that scarf on your head, which I'm pretty sure means you're not available for dates, but then you wear that makeup on your face. Talk about mixed signals.
The Quran doesn't say anything about wearing makeup. Some Muslim girls do.
Why do you wear it?
I want to look nice.
Yeah, but...
I got a question for you.
All right.
What was your burning reason for studying love?
Now, that's personal.
Oh, but I'm supposed to tell you my personal stuff?
My daddy left us when I was 4 years old. My mama ruined herself with drink ever after. I wanted to find out how two people fall in love and stay in love for good. That's all I wanted when I was little. That's all I want now.
Oh. And when you wrote your book, were you in love?
Yes. Yes, I was.
Oh.
What is that for?
Oh, the mid-afternoon call to prayer.
Shouldn't you answer it?
We're not supposed to in school. You know, separation of church and state. Unless it's Ramadan. But sometimes I wish I could just pray.
Well, don't you get in trouble for not praying?
I can make it up tonight.
You can make up prayers?
You make up all the prayers that you miss at the end of the day during evening prayers. Islam's a very flexible religion.
Why do you set your watch then if you can...
Reminds me of who I am.
Huh.
What religion are you? I mean, what kind of Christian?
I'm not a Christian.
You're Jewish?
I'm not any religion. I do not believe in a God. I stand up against the precipice and do not expect a pillow to cushion my fall.
But how could you not believe in God? I mean, when you look at, well, how things work in a cell, or all the things that have to go right for even a human egg to be fertilized. I mean, all the cells that have to divide, and so many chemical processes back and forth.
When I told the members of our congregation down in Boone's Mill, Virginia, that I believed in evolution, they stood in a prayer circle around me and spoke in tongues. I was only 14 years old, but that was enough to cure me of religion forever.
Oh. Muslims accept evolution. Most of them. I mean, there's some arguing about whether humans came from apes, but aren't you scared you're going to hell?
I'm in it already.
You mean here?
Take that any way you like.
But...
Scientists believe in what they can prove.
You mean there are no scientists who are religious? Really? Because you have to tell me now, because if there aren't any scientists that are religious, then
What, you'll give it all up? Then it can't be that important to you.
But what about that chart you did?
What chart?
You know...
Oh, yes, that. Never mind.
You said that this tiny piece of the pie is what scientists know about the world. And this slightly bigger slice is what scientists know they don't know about the world. And the rest of the pie and all around it is everything we don't know.
Yes, well, I know none of that stuff pertains to God.
How could you? I mean, can you prove that God doesn't exist?
I can go one better. I can prove there's no need for a God to exist, that the diversity of life can be explained by the principles and theorems that we already know. That's all the wonder in the universe that I need.
What about quantum entanglements? You know, two tiny particles that always move in relation to each other no matter how far across the world they're split.
What makes that God? Just because we have not yet discovered the theorem that explains... Everyone gets all woo-woo about particle physics.
Well, if everybody gets that way, maybe there's a reason.
Yeah, non-scientists do, not real scientists, not minds of your caliber.
You think I have a mind of caliber?
If you have to ask, then no.
So you like my idea?
I think it is good.
You do?
For a teenager.
Then you'll help me.
No.
What do you mean, no?
If I had a millisecond to myself these days, I'd be working up my own ideas.
Oh.
And besides, I think you are not being entirely honest here.
What?
Like most of the religious folk I know, you are hiding something. Because that is the only way to live under the glare of unrealistic expectations.
Okay, I don't even know how to defend myself, because I don't know what you're talking about.
I think you do. I am pretty sure that even with the door open over there that you and I are discussing what you keep initiating with me, somebody in your community would object to that, am I wrong? And yet you persist instead of going to a guidance counselor. Talk about an anomaly.
I still don't know
And
what
you're clearly an overachiever.
You think I'm an
and
overachiever?
yet you failed a simple genetics test and you have never explained that to me. How could that possibly happen? Why did it happen?
Personal. I'm not leaving if you're trying to throw me out again. And I can't talk about this with the guidance counselor. They hate the hijabis.
What?
The girls who wear headscarves. The counselors. I overheard one of them saying that someday one of us sandroaches is going to blow up the school. What are you doing?
What happens if I shut this door?
Don't do that. Don't. It's It's how it would look. I mean, there are people who want to ruin a girl's reputation, the fobs.
The what?
Guys who are fresh off the boaters. They've got this really primitive mindset, and some of them think girls shouldn't even be going to high school, and they talk about you for the slightest thing, and suddenly your name is ruined. Here. Look.
What is this? This looks like a photo of a very good-looking young man with a mustache, a very trim beard, piercing eyes. He's wearing one of those scarves on his head, indicative of a man from the Middle East.
A kafia.
And he has a very scary curved knife in his belt.
That's what the men wear in my culture. In Yemen, it's a jambia. When two families have a big disagreement, they put their jambias down in a circle between them and they talk. They try to come to some... His name is Samir.
Is he your boyfriend?
He's my intended.
What?
He's going to be my husband.
In war-torn Yemen?
No, here. And our town is away from the fighting, even if electricity and food shortages
How old are you?
17.
You're a child bride.
I'm not a child bride. I'll be 18 in a few months.
This is...
This is what we do in my culture.
Did your family set this up?
Yes.
They're marrying you off to a stranger to get him out of a country that...
He's not a stranger. My family knows his family for years, and when we visited Yemen, I used to play with his sisters, and you know, you sound just like the guidance counselors. Okay, what makes you think I don't want this?
So you're in love with him?
Love is something that grows over time, like I said.
So you barely know him?
Lots of arranged marriages, they fall in love. Lots of arranged marriages succeed.
Yeah, when two people have shared values, background, education, customs. Is he even from the capital of Yemen? Never mind the state. Has he studied, or is he from some rural backwater? He'll be a boater.
What? No, he's been living in Philadelphia with some cousins, learning English and American stuff.
Yeah, American
saving.
stuff is freedom, free will, choice. Can they force you?
No. The Quran says there is no forcing in marriage. Okay, this isn't ISIS or the Taliban.
Of course, there's a fine line between forcing and pressure.
Samir is a good man. Okay, my uncle, he's starting a construction business, and he needs a man like Samir who's young and strong and who he can trust.
So you are the sacrifice, throwing herself on the dagger so your uncle's business can flourish? Is that what you mean by love?
That's what we mean. In my culture, what's good for the family, what's good for everybody. Look, since I was a kid, I've always known I was going to get arranged to somebody. Give that back.
So there's no problem here. This seems to be what you want to do. And yet, when did you find this out? Was it the night before my test?
It was a little... They caught me off guard. I was hoping that it might come later, after I finished college. My mom, she was really proud of how smart I was. She was from a really small village in Yemen, and she couldn't read in any language. So when she saw me reading, it was like magic to her. And my dad, you would have liked my dad. He was an adventurer, like me, and he wanted to be a doctor, but when he moved here, he couldn't. There wasn't the money, to study, but he told me, Yasmeen, you become anything you want to be. And I had to be great in school for him. But he died of cancer 4 years ago, and my mom, she was killed by a hit-and-run driver after my dad died. I mean, she was so distracted and worried.
I'm sorry.
So ever since then, my uncle and aunt, they took me and my sisters in, and they haven't asked for a penny. I mean, they never make us feel like a drain on them, even though they have their own 4 kids, and now they sleep in the living room so they could give us the bedroom. And my uncle, he looks a lot like my dad. He's different, but he looks a lot like him, and sometimes when I hug him, I could swear it's like having my dad back. I mean, his voice, his mustache.
That's it, then. And what about your dream of going to college?
I can get my uncle to put it in the marriage contract that I can go to school. I have to plan it right. Make sure I can pay for it and that it won't cost anybody any money and that I can show them that I still have a 4.0 and that's me.
Yeah, but college is only the first step. There's your doctorate to get and your postdoc training, which can take you around the country to whichever lab will accept you. Will Samir go with you to Boise, Idaho? Accompany you to faculty parties? You could be in your late 40s before you get tenure. And when will you be expected to produce a baby? Will he wait till you're 35, a man from Yemen?
Okay, like it's so great the way Americans do it.
What?
Like the girls in this school, you see them in the morning, right? I mean, they're dropping their babies off at the school daycare. They're 14 years old. Talk about child brides, except they're not even married. And the guys here, I mean, some of them have, like, different kids with different girls, and they're my age. And I know girls here. They text naked pictures of themselves because they think that's the only way for them to get a boy.
Yeah, we're talking about your future.
My family is protecting my future. Samir is 4 years older than me. I mean, he's been working, saving up money to give me when we get married. And that's my money. My jewelry he has to give me. No one can touch it. And if anything happens to Samir or if he leaves me, it's my money.
So you admit that things might not work out?
And meantime, when we get married, he'll take care of me and my sisters. He'll take on all of our obligations. We'll be able to move out of my uncle's house, and any money I make is my money. And he'll work with my uncle in his new contracting business, and Samir has to set me up in an apartment and pay for my wedding.
Like a caged bird.
No, like respect. It's all about respect and honor, and that's what you don't get. And this is... You're disrespectful!
Now I understand why you came to me. You want me to help you get out of this, don't you? Of course. That 63 on your test was a cry for help.
You're crazy. You can only see things the way all Americans do.
You're an American, and you can see your future plain as day, just like I can. You can see it receding towards the horizon. You think you're going to have long, interesting conversations with Samir?
Maybe. What, just because he hasn't studied? God, you're a snob.
So are you, an intellectual snob. Otherwise, why didn't you go to a city college?
You don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, I do, because I've been there, living a lie with my family, counting the days till I could get out of there.
No, that is not me.
Or are you willing to throw out your chance for a scholarship just to prove the superiority of your culture?
I love my culture. I love my family, and I love my religion.
And yet you stay up all night reading, planning an idea just to impress me in order to get into the top university in the country for your field of study, into a program that will give you a leg up against other budding scientists. And now you're ready to throw that all out the window, just toss it out. That idea you slaved so hard on, and which may actually contain the kernel of an original idea. Oh, you are still interested. As far as I know, no one is studying the brains of adolescents in love. No one is studying first love. And that is a pretty decent theory that you came up with.
It is?
That first hit of romantic love makes you dissatisfied for the rest of your life, because like crack cocaine, it will never give you that high again. And that longing, that need to get that first high back stays with you for the rest of your life. If you're willing to abide by my rules, in my domain, with me as lead scientist...
What does that mean?
I designed the experiment. All ideas have my name on them, and this is a lab, not a charity.
But... Okay.
Then I know how I can help you, and how you can be very useful to me. Evangeline, it is my turn to have them this weekend. Because you can't just... Will you listen to me? Because I'm taking them to the... No, they're not too old. Everybody loves the Rockettes. What? One day next month? One day? Evangeline, please, I've got to see them. Yes. Yes, we will take this up with our lawyers. Yes, Evangeline, Evangeline.
I've got them. I can't believe I've got them.
Are you all right?
I never worked on something and had people go along with it. You should have seen them, Dr. Royston. They were fighting each other just to fill them out. Like who was gonna go first? I mean, our surveys and Ms. Inez organized the whole thing like you said she would. Like, did that ever happen?
Of course, it makes the school look good having a world-class scientist lead.
It seems crazy now, but all last night I couldn't sleep. I was afraid nobody would show up and your experiment would be, over before it even got started.
We can use the word "our" for now.
You should have heard them, all these gangbangers coming over to my table, take my brain, pick my brain for science, or, I'm in love, can I fill one out? Although most of them said they weren't in first love, they said they were in forever love.
You only took the ones whose parents gave their...
Consent. You were a genius when you said this experiment would tell them how passionate they are. I mean, they filled them out so serious. Miss Inez set up these, little privacy booths.
Oh, you did not peek at their answers now, did you?
No, I put them in the envelopes without looking, like you said to.
Good. Now, your next task is to tally the results. Give each survey a score based on how they answered the multiple-choice questions on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 always indicating passionate first love off the charts. And the ones with the highest scores are the ones whose brains we'll want to scan.
Right, after we interview them.
Yes, right. So we can rule out the crazies. Whoa, what are you doing?
I'm going to tally them.
Hey, my dear. This is the very first data you have ever collected for our very own original experiment. There is info in there that we will analyze based on their ethnicity, religion, or gender. It is a momentous occasion.
I know!
Akin to knocking fruit flies out for the very first time with the sacred ether.
So what should I do?
Well, what are we hoping is in there?
That we find some kids whose score on the passionate love scale is off the charts.
So our whole future is in that envelope, or on a slide, or a computer scan, or in pages of numerical sequences.
What do you mean?
Every scientist, when he or she checks their results, it is the next 5 or 10 years of their life on the line. The ability to publish, to be taken seriously, to take yourself seriously, to get the next grant. So are you sure you have what we need in that envelope? Are you sure they filled out the surveys thoughtfully and correctly?
No, but
That's right. We are never sure, which is why we must do a little juju to make the data come out right.
You mean, fake the results?
No, of course not. Don't even joke about that. Your reputation is everything. No, I'm talking a little magic, a little juju.
Wait, I thought you only believed in what you can prove.
Does that mean I cannot have fun?
But...
A little ritual. Take the hex off. Do you not know and fear Murphy's Law?
Whatever can go wrong will go wrong?
Yes, but what you probably do not know is Murphy's Law for scientists. It is far more pernicious. 1. If something can go wrong, it will go wrong, and just before your grant is up for review.
Oh, yikes.
2. If the reading on your apparatus is correct, then you've forgotten to plug it in. 3. Nature is both subtle and malicious. 4. If you make a great discovery today, you will discover a major error in your methods tomorrow. And 5. When your experiment is just about to succeed, you will run out of grant money.
Is that the kind of advice you gave your students at Columbia?
I didn't know my students at Columbia.
Oh, but I thought you were a professor.
My appointment was to run a lab, to conduct research, and win plenty of grants to support that research. I supervised some grads and postdocs in my lab, and I basically taught a lecture class for 1 semester each year, but my TAs handled the student stuff.
Oh. So how does that work? You don't, run in a lab.
Well, you have 7 or 8 people, grad students, postdocs, maybe an undergrad or 2, all focusing on the same question, the same quest, but coming at it from different angles, like a puzzle. And the best thing is everybody needs and wants your expertise. What makes one person attracted to another person? Why him? Why her? Out of all the billions of people out there, why?
You miss it, don't you? What happened? I mean, that guy, Dr. Wilder, was he involved? The one who stole your idea?
Where were we? Oh, right. The juju. Now, some people like to listen to the Frayed Ends of Sanity by Metallica just to jar the fates. But today I prefer something a little less dirge-like. Today we will listen to... In my lab we dance. That's the juju.
You dance? To this?
Yes.
Wait, you dance? Where'd you learn to dance like that?
By sneaking out. In Boone's Mill, dancing was strictly prohibited, so I take my revenge on those Bible-thumping holy rollers every chance I get. But of course, you're not allowed to dance either.
I dance with my cousins, girl cousins, at weddings. Wait, you couldn't dance where you grew up? Not even with your male cousins?
Most particularly not with my male cousin. Is it working? The juju?
I don't know, you tell me.
I think I have danced enough to make it come out right. You may open the envelope.
Oh, this is great. This is...
Let me in on it.
About what % of an average day does your boyfriend or girlfriend come into your thoughts? 3,000%. 5,000%. If my boyfriend/girlfriend is away, I like to go out on romantic dates with other guys' girls. I don't play her like that. There's only one man in my life.
Nothing like getting the results we hope for.
Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, respond. Sex is the most important part of my relationship with X. 1, strongly disagree, and it's a guy.
Is that surprising?
Yeah.
Is everything okay?
It's just, well, this question. I will never forget our first kiss, agree or disagree. I just...
What? What?
Nothing. Can I use the laptop to enter our results?
Yeah.
I brought you something. It's stupid.
Well, I highly doubt that.
It's to thank you for setting this up.
Oh, this benefits me
and for
as much...
tutoring me in chemistry.
I only agreed to do that because I could not recommend you without... I'd look like a laughingstock, and you have been very self-directed.
I know, but you're still giving up all your free periods. It's a Rice Krispie treat. It's stupid, right? But we make them, my aunt and me, and we sell them to the falafel joints around here. We make baklava, too, and lots of Yemeni stuff. But I wasn't sure you would like that.
Why? Because of my white trash background? You're right. I prefer Rice Krispies.
Well, ours are kind of special, though. They're halal.
What?
Extra clean, like kosher. And we put cardamom and cinnamon in them, too. Yeah?
Delicious, truly. Thank you so much. Oh, would you like a piece?
No, I eat them all the time. Okay.
You do not have to.
There's this Arab saying, it's silly, but it's like, he who eats alone, chokes alone.
Then you better eat with me. So, did you write up the experiment for your Columbia application like I asked you to?
Mm-hmm, I did. Here. What do you think?
I think... Now, we have agreed to be perfectly frank with one another, have we not?
Yes?
When you do something right, I will praise you to the skies. But on the flip side, I must be free to be absolutely blunt when things aren't working. I'm treating you like a grad student in my lab.
That's what I want.
Well, the section where you describe the passionate love survey is terrific,
But you hate the part where I described the brain scans. Like, I knew it.
No,
I tried to put it in plain English first, like you said too. First we have them look at a photo of a neutral subject, an acquaintance as a control while we scan their brains, and then we have them look at a photo of their girlfriend or boyfriend who they're crazy in love with while we scan their brains again, and later on we compare the two, and then we use the data from your adult experiments to further compare, but once I put it into scientific language...
No, that is not the issue. I fear no one is even going to get to that section because your introduction lacks an original idea.
What?
To say that first love in teenagers is more intense because the brain centers for novelty and the creation of memories are more aroused, well, that's basically an extension of what has come before.
But that's totally what we're testing here. I mean, that's our whole experiment.
But what areas of future inquiry does it open?
That first love creates an addiction.
What is our new theory of the adolescent brain?
I'm only a high schooler.
Oh, that excuse is not worthy of you. That is resistance to doing the work, and I will not risk my name for someone coming from this school and your religion. You've got to be better than... Columbia takes less than 6% of its applicants, and only one of them gets this scholarship. Only one of them gets full room and board.
I don't need the room and
board.
board.
When you tell your family you're not marrying Samir, where do you think you'll live? On the street? Didn't you tell me about your friend, Aisha, who had to rent a room she found on Craigslist, worked full-time jobs while trying to go to school, all because she ran away from her marriage?
I didn't say I wasn't going to marry Samir.
Right.
Dr. Royston, I didn't, and I am not going to be Aisha. I mean, her family doesn't speak to her anymore.
Let's just shelve that topic for now, as we agreed, and get back to the task at hand, all right? All right?
But
Let us retrace our steps here, comb through our thought process to see if there isn't something we missed. Make a good idea great. What are the brain centers that light up under new pleasurable experiences?
I don't know. I can't think.
Yes, you can. What are the brain centers for new pleasurable experiences? The reward centers. Point to them on your head, like I taught you.
The ventral tegmental area and the caudate nucleus.
Good. So we expect to find them more active in the teenage brain when they fall in love.
Yes.
But what are we saying about the teenage brain in love and beyond? I think that is where we might be able to dazzle them. Aren't we arguing that first love is a form of learning?
Yes. Yes, we are.
And how would we characterize adolescent behavior?
I don't know.
Think of your classmates.
Rebellious, impulsive, intense, reckless, passionate.
So we are talking about impulse control. And where does impulse control originate?
The prefrontal cortex.
And impulse control is fairly undeveloped in teenagers and young adults.
Because all the connections to the cortex haven't been forged.
So, for our experiment, we might be trying to say something about the prefrontal cortex and the reward centers in combination.
Okay, like what?
Well, do you know some of your classmates who have filled out these questionnaires?
Of course.
And do you know some of the people that they are waxing poetic about?
Yeah.
Well, are they the Romeos or Juliets as described?
No. Some of them are like drug dealers, and some of the girls carry box cutters.
So it is true what Shakespeare writes. Love can make you fall for the head of an ass.
What?
Well, in A Midsummer Night's Dream, The Enchantment. Didn't you tell me you just read that in English?
Oh, yeah. You mean bottom?
Yeah, love looks not with the eyes, but with the mind, and therefore is winged Cupid
painted blind. Okay, so our experiment can tell teenagers not to take so many risks with the people they love?
Well, telling teenagers to do anything will not... But what we want is a new way of looking at the adolescent brain, something that will make the scientific community shake the ground under their feet.
If our idea isn't going to work, you need to let me know that now.
Are you giving up so soon? I didn't think that was like you.
Oh, but
you want complete reassurance that our idea will work.
Well,
forget it. There is no assurance in science.
But
this is art. Art. Science is lonely work. It takes discipline, practice, and maybe, intuition most of all. There is more failure than success. But like the artist, we get up and practice again and again.
I am practicing.
Your real duty is to preserve your dream. That is what Modigliani said, the great painter of the early 20th century. And he died penniless, sick, alone. But look at what he left us. Paintings of astounding beauty. Do you have what it takes? Do you have that kind of dedication?
Yes!
Then insight will come to you at the oddest times when you wake up in the middle of the night, in the middle of a walk. And...
But I don't have much time.
Well, what if I go to your family, talk to them, tell them that you're a brilliant young woman? They must give you more time.
I was talking about my application, and you can't go to my family.
Well, what if I tell them that minds like yours come along only once in a millennium and they shouldn't waste
They don't even know you exist. If they even knew Mrs. D'Angelo was letting me out of 7th period every day like this to see you, they might pull me out of school. I mean, it doesn't matter that you're my teacher. They want to know why we're spending all this time together. Down in the cafeteria, there was this guy, Abdullah. He just got in from Yemen last year. He was watching me.
What for?
I told you, there are these guys who like to ruin girls' reputations.
What is he, the religious police? And what were you doing anyway that was
I was talking to guys.
As part of a school project, with Ms. Inez supervising as per my instructions.
It doesn't matter. He told on my friend Nuria, and he wrecked her life.
What are you talking about?
She liked this blonde guy, Kyle. They met when they were both volunteering at the hospital, and one day he walked her home.
And
I guess they kissed, and Abdullah saw them and spread rumors about her, and that she was probably... and her parents found out.
But she didn't, right? She wasn't sleeping with him.
God, it doesn't matter. It matters what everybody thought. Her parents couldn't hold their heads up. So they convinced her to go to Yemen with them. Because they said that her Jeddah, her grandma, who she really, really loved, was sick. And then when she got there, they made her marry this old guy from their village. It was like they ambushed her.
My God.
A girl is like glass. If you break her, you can't put her back together again.
A girl is not like glass.
What a Muslim girl has to give her husband is her dignity.
This Abdullah, is he in one of my classes?
Oh, no, he's over with the ELL kids on the other side of the building. Otherwise, I'd never be able to be here.
What?
I heard this rumor. I don't know if it's true, but I heard he got this Dominican girl pregnant.
Everybody talking about heaven ain't necessarily going there.
What?
That's what they say around Boone's.
Everybody talking about heaven
ain't necessarily going there. Remember that, Yasmeen.
And all the parents, they think he's so holy because he can recite the Quran backwards and forwards.
Yeah, there's something about religion that breeds that sort of thing. Maybe, especially the Muslim religion.
What?
Well, now, we said we could talk to each other frankly about any subject, and even you were pointing out the hypocrisies. Look, isn't there something about the Muslim religion that creates a kind of, a culture of bullying with the men separate from...
About?
Isn't there an extra
the
level?
The Quran says that the women are equals of men. The Quran makes sure that women are taken care of. And, you don't have bullying? What about football? Or fraternities? Or the American army? I mean, men raping the women that they work with? You know what, a Muslim does something, everybody says, oh, that terrible religion. But when a Christian does something, their religion isn't even mentioned, and everybody just says that they're a crazy person.
Yeah, because they don't use Christian ideology
What about skinheads? What about people shooting up abortion clinics, mosques?
Using religion to incite global terrorism.
That's right, using it. They talk Islam, but I don't even recognize...
Okay, let's just agree to disagree.
No, you're dissing my religion. And you don't even know the difference between religion and culture and people who
All
are...
right.
And that makes you ignorant.
That's why I need you to school me, okay? Yasmeen, okay? That's why I ask these things.
No, you ask me because you're trying to convert me to your religion, which is no religion at all. I thought by now, from knowing me, you wouldn't say such stupid... every time I wear this headscarf in the subway, the looks, the hatred... I expect it from other people, but I thought by now from...
You're right,
I wish you could read the Quran. I wish you could see how beautiful it is.
I don't think I can do that, but I promise I will never diss your religion again, okay? I will never... Hold on. Hallelujah.
Good news?
Yeah, outstanding. It is from one of my former postdocs, Dr. Yoshimura. Yoshi, I did not expect to hear from anyone so soon. You are my good luck charm. Anyway, Yoshi has moved into a high-level position at Queen's College, head of neuroscience, and they have a major grant, a private grant with none of the strings that come from government funding to study the adolescent brain. And he says here that he is going to fast-track the approval process for us to use his facilities for the brain scans. He writes that he knows that whatever project I'm involved in will be first-rate. Yasmeen, what are you thinking? Did you hear what I said?
Yes. Thank you. That's amazing.
But
I'm thinking, with Allah on our side, this will happen. But without him, it won't.
This will happen because of our own power, because of our own mind and strength of character, because of nothing else.
Let's just say we agree to disagree on that.
This is LA Theatre Works' production of Paradise by Laura Maria Sensabella, starring Jeff Marlow and Medalion Rahimi, directed by Annalise Erikson. Our story continues in Hour 2. I'm Susan Loewenberg, producing director of LA Theatre Works.